So how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Thanks once again for stopping by my channel and checking out my videos. I've got my forward control kit for my Street Bob, so I'm really super excited about this. Now, I was just going to go ahead and start installing this and just put it on the bike and then just kind of do a ride review and tell you how they feel and everything else like that. But I thought I'd just kind of show you guys what exactly comes in the box when you order the forward control kit, just kind of as an overview, and then I'll go ahead and start putting this on the bike. And then if I run into any problems or I figure out an easy way of doing something, then I'll go ahead and show that to you. But I'll just give you kind of little progress updates as I go along. So first of all, I wanted to show you the instructions for this kit right here. They're pretty detailed. I don't know if you can see that rather clearly on the screen, but as you can see here, it shows you step by step, including disassembly, on how to assemble this on your bike. The quality of the parts that I'm noticing is actually pretty good. I mean, some of the finishes on this, if you can look at the finish on that, they're not exactly polished, to the best of their abilities. I think they could probably have done a little bit better, but all this stuff, it's going to be down there by the ground and getting dirty and dusty and everything else, so I don't think it really matters. But the big parts, where it counts to have a really nice finish, I think they did a pretty good job on it, as you can see there. Pretty nice. This part right here, the camera will focus. As you can see, it's got a couple of shipping marks on it right there, but no big deal. It's nothing I'm going to cry about. The chrome, obviously the back side of the chrome is not going to be finished as well as the front side. This is the part you'll be able to see on the outside of the bike, so that looks pretty good. This is also for the right side, for the relocation of the brake pad and everything, and the brake reservoir, master cylinder. Looks pretty good, although the top of it right there, that finish isn't all that great, but it's acceptable. This kit runs $499, so it was like $546 with tax. So they're not exactly cheap, but I think the difference in comfort that this is going to provide, on the bike now, getting my feet out there forward, is going to be well worth the money. This kit is supposed to relocate your pedals, your foot pegs, 7 inches forward, which might sound like a lot, but when you're sitting on this bike, if you're my height, your legs are pretty much bent at a 90-degree angle, so 7 inches forward is really not going to be all that much, but I think the difference is going to be pretty substantial once I ride the bike and kind of get a feel for it. One thing I did notice that's quite a bit different from the standard controls is just the width of this brake pedal right here, and I'll show you how wide that is. And we'll walk over to the bike and just kind of compare the two side by side. If you can see the mid-control pedal, how much narrower it is compared to the forward control pedal. So that's just one of the things that I've noticed so far. But so far, it doesn't look like this is going to be too complicated. So I'm just going to go ahead and stop the video right here, and I'm going to get started on the taking off the old parts and putting the new ones on. And if I run into anything that's kind of trippy or difficult, or like I said, a trick to doing this any better, I'll just give you progress as I go along. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, well there's the shifter side of the forward controls installed. Wasn't too bad. You do have to do a little bit of finagling to get the mid-control shift linkage out of there, but it's not too bad. You struggle with it just for a little bit, but it all came together pretty good. Although I do have one warning. When you're putting on these controls, when you're bolting them back up, be careful of these torque screws these torque bolts that they send out, because those are pretty easy to strip, and I almost stripped this bottom one down here putting it in. I got the other one torqued up really good, but the other one, as soon as I started getting close to the 40 pounds torque rating that it requires, it started to kind of let loose a little bit. So just be really careful of these things when you're putting them in. Okay guys, here's the brake side, or the right side of the bike, whichever you want to call it, all installed and finished up. Didn't have hardly any troubles getting this side on here. You just have to do things in the correct order. Didn't have any problems with the lower torque bolt, putting those in on this side, so that turned out pretty good. Yeah, so no problems. So far so good. Let's get this thing wheeled out in the driveway, and I'll kind of show you out there in some better light what it looks like. Usually where the mid-control pegs would sit was right about in the middle of right about in line with that, just straight down. As you can see, the forward control moves it forward what they claim to be 7 inches, and I think it makes the bike look quite a bit better. So here's the brake side of it, just so you can take a quick look. Looks pretty good, right? And that's what it looks like from behind. And now the shifter side of the bike, that's what it looks like. The one thing I did notice I thought was kind of curious, the shift rod over here, why is it isn't more straight in line with everything? I mean, it's kind of at an angle, which I think is kind of strange, but I don't know why Harley didn't just make this bracket right here just a little bit more curved, so it comes over here, you know, just a little bit farther to make the shift rod more in line with everything. But well, they designed it. I think they know what the heck they're doing, and I don't think I'm going to have a problem with it. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with the kit. It turned out pretty good. Installation was not any major problem at all, other than that one Torx bolt that I had a problem with down there. Just as it started to tighten up, it kind of wanted to start stripping a little bit, but I got it tightened down just before it stripped. So I think if I ever have to take these pegs off of here, I'll probably have to use an impact driver to take that bolt out of there just to make sure I don't strip it. But it's torqued down pretty good, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now and call it good. So if you want a view of the bike from the front, what it looks like with the pegs on it, see if I can kind of get that in there. Looks nice and even. Everything looks clean from up here. Gonna go from this side over to this side. As you can see, there's no weird offset with the brackets or anything like that. They look nice and even, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So I guess the next thing would be for me to take this thing out on a cruise and see how it feels. All right, guys, it's been a couple days since I installed the forward controls on the bike. Oh, hang on a second here. I don't want my gloves to blow all over the ground. But so it's been a couple days since I installed the forward controls on my Harley. I wanted to put a few miles on it before I give my best impression of how I feel about them. They're definitely different, and they definitely feel way different than I thought they would. It made the bike feel like a completely different animal. What some people have said about the mid controls making you feel like you have more control in the corners and stuff like that, that is absolutely true. But the way that I see things is it's a fair trade-off for me, because I wanted my feet, you know, in a more comfortable position. And the two things that really bothered me about it is coming to a stop, putting my feet down, and the pegs being in the way. That's not an issue anymore. And then also backing my bike into my garage, my shins aren't ramming into the foot pegs anymore. So what I've lost as far as like the feeling of control at low speeds and stuff like that, to me it's a trade-off. Yeah, it's well worth it to me, because I'm more comfortable and more relaxed on the bike, and I feel like I make longer trips on it. As a matter of fact, that last video that I recorded, well, I don't know if it's going to be the last one. Who knows when this one's going to come out? But anyways, I've already recorded a video with the forward controls on it. So I'm going to give it a big thumbs up. And yeah, that's my impression of the Harley-Davidson official forward control kit. Very happy with it. I need to go back to the house this afternoon and just double check and make sure that everything's still nice and tight and snug on it. I did lock tight pretty much every single bolt except for the two nuts on the back of the shift linkage here, but those are nylock bolts or nuts on there, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'm still going to check them out. So there you go, big thumbs up for me on the forward controls from Harley-Davidson. I'm out of here for now. I'm going to go do some more riding and get more used to these forward controls on this bike. But everybody, thanks you so very much for watching my channel, and liking, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until we see you on the next video, everybody ride safe and have a good day, and we will see you later.